Okay. Now, what is the revenue expectation?
Yeah, we like to see about 10 units within the first year for a franchisee. And then the business model is really kind of caps for those that are looking to do six figures. You can cap about 25 units and do really well. And the average rental that goes out is 6 days. And just on the nightly rental revenue for the franchisee, depending on if it's a towable to a drivable, they're going to get about $500 to $700 just off the rental revenue. And then there's all this additional revenue that you can make, so you can rent camping chairs and the list goes on and on and on. You can rent linens and kitchen kits and all the things.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, because this is a very interesting time where people are looking as lower demand comes in and, high interest rates, things like that. People are looking at reutilizing space. How can we do it differently? Especially a lot of people have had issues and stuff with things like U-Haul simply because they're a competitor. So people are like, wait, I'm literally using you and you have a facility right down the road. Like people start to feel weird about that.
That's brilliant of them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. How's the outlook on the coming few years here with, let's say, high interest rates? People aren't buying RVs. What does that look for you guys? So do you guys think that that's a good thing for this business model, or is that going to create some challenges? And how would you overcome it?
Hey, Mark, you want to speak to that one? Because you've got that great report.
Sure. Yeah, I went, part of my due diligence was starting this business. I went and I got some market research reports just on the overall RV rental industry and where it's been going since 2020 to 2030. And it's pretty staggering because we just know that the RV industry has been growing and will continue to grow. But our market is really what Garr calls the other people's RVs, OPVR. So we're actually taking inventory from the consumers and using that as our product. So I go out to Facebook Marketplace and I just put in an RV and it's slammed. And that's probably where I get most of my consignments are people that, they don't use it much. It sits on their driveway. Is this something that I should really keep? Well, if we use it 2-3 times a year. So this is an opportunity for them to still use it that, a couple times a year, but actually offset their payments. So it's going to continue to grow. And as more people are getting into the RV rental space, we're just going to see it continue to grow.
Yeah, and we've also seen too, there's state, federal, private campgrounds being built all around the country, which is a great indicator for just the outdoor space and travel.
Yeah.
Right. So there's looking at it from that angle. A couple of our franchisees are actually RV dealerships. Mm-hmm. So they're taking their brand new inventory, putting it into rotation to rent out with us. And then they're able to put that back on their lot as used inventory because there's not a lot of used inventory sitting on the dealership lots because somebody who bought an RV, right, a year or two ago, 3 years ago, and now they want to trade it in to get another one. They've got to come to that closing table with 10, 15, 20 grand. So people are just holding on to these RVs. So yeah. The dealers are actually, we have a dealership in Byron, Georgia, that's a franchise of ours. All their inventory is just brand new units that they own. They're going to rent it out for 1, 2, 3 seasons, get the depreciation benefit, and then turn around and throw it on their lot as used inventory.
Yeah, there's another interesting trend that's been happening. Like over the last 20 years, we've seen the Airbnb and VRBO kind of grow that industry. But when people do it themselves, they realize, wow, this is a lot of work, and I can't do it with my full-time job. So what's happened now is we have these short-term vacation rental management companies popping up all over the place. And they're kind of taking it away from the owners, and they're doing the business. So this is the same model because they do have platforms that are out there for the peer-to-peer. And people will rent out their one RV, and then they realize after the first, second season, wow, this is a lot of work. I don't have time for it. Then they come to us. And so I have about a third of my fleet are people that tried it on the platforms out there and said, it's not for me. So then they'll give it to us to do the management. So we're seeing that trend as well. People are trying it. It's a lot of work. They'll give it to us to take it over.
That makes sense. Yeah, like I don't want to deal with this.
Yep.
And then you can have it literally sitting there. You can use it and say, oh, I'm going to use it that we're going to bring it back and then just go. and then you just get a check in the mail. And then it adds on to like the storage operators or anything else. It's a service that they can serve, or, so there's three kind of different buckets where that fit can work out well.
Yep. There's basically three pillars, as Garr was saying, in our industry. The first place for us to really operate a franchise, we have to go out and look for the location. And typically it is a storage facility or it's some type of dealership. But the third pillar to that is the RV maintenance, RV techs, and some place where we can get that repaired between rentals if needed. So that part there, some of the storage facilities have a place where we can actually do that type of tech on site. So that's kind of a place where, do we have to haul it somewhere to an RV dealership for repair, or can we do that right on site? And we have locations, they've been various, like in Vegas, we have he's on a storage facility, but he also has a bay where they can repair the RVs in between rentals as needed. And there we just outsource for RV techs. There's a lot of mobile techs looking for jobs, and they don't always get the best pay at dealerships. So there's a great opportunity out there as well. So that's kind of the third leg that's out there that we work with.
Okay. How much has this industry grown over the last 4 years? Because I'm like, this has to be more of this isn't obviously, it's got to be relatively new.
Yeah. So the Airbnb of this industry, their name is RV Share, and they started in 2014. So just over 10 years. A year or so after that came the VRBO of this industry, Outdoorsy. And what happened is dealerships used to rent RVs. That used to be very common. You could go to a dealership and rent an RV. Well, they realized, hey, there's a lot more money in us fixing RVs than renting RVs. Mm-hmm. So, right, you drive by a Camping World and they have 40 repair bays. So that's their focus, is selling units and fixing them. So a lot of them got out of the rental space, created this void for many years. And then a gentleman went camping with his wife and he got home and he said, I'm going to rent my RV. And he realized, there's nowhere to put it. He created RV Share, which sold for tens and tens of millions, his shares several years ago. And I got in just in 2016, shortly after those two platforms launched.
Fireside has our own website platform, but like he said, RV Share and Outdoorsy, these are key partners that we work with together. So our units are on their platforms as well as ours in other spaces.
Yeah. It's a fascinating thing that I think obviously this is going to become more and more. We've seen it in all industries. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of a lot of these things because it gives options and opportunities for all the parties. You have a business opportunity. You have an opportunity for a storage facility. You have an opportunity for owners of RVs. And then you have an opportunity for customers. And it really works out nicely. It's customers want RVs, right? Owners who want to generate income, they may have bought it. Now they're like, I got to do something here, and then from there, we have storage facility owners who may go, I have empty RV space and I'm not getting a ton for it. So I actually want to, do something different. And then you have people that are like, hey, I want to start a business and I want to go out here. I don't have huge amounts of capital. I don't have all of these things, so what can I do that I can be, like you said, a management company where you're playing the in-between. I'm not buying the RVs. I'm not, so all of a sudden it's kind of this system that works out and it works for everybody. You're taking care of everybody's problem there. And two, you're creating opportunity for everybody. Yep. Renters, owners of RVs, storage facilities, and people that want to go down the entrepreneurship route to start a business. And it's simple enough to where everybody can get it. This is not complex. This is supply demand. Do you have people that want to rent RVs? Do you have space? What is the cost? What will people pay? What is what do we have to do? We have to have an owner. You got to get your insurance. You got to get your license. Okay. Then you have the management part. You got to meet people. You got to get them in the RVs. You got to it is simple enough to where people can understand and they can get it. It's not overwhelming to a point where they're like, how am I going to do this? Right. And so I think it's a great option. And I like, especially now, because you're right, a lot of people they've kind of got stuck in some of these situations with RVs, and that can be scary for individuals. Also, with that said, at interest rates at this level, people don't want to buy RVs. To go and buy RV in this kind of climate, a lot of people don't want to, but they're like, I still want to use one. Interest rates also hurt the industry. So the self-storage industry, if people aren't buying RVs though, and they're not storing them, then demand's down. But yet people still have RVs. And so I really like it. It's a really cool thing. As we were, talking about Mark, about this, I think that as people are looking for creative solutions on these different ways, but like storage people too, that idea of U-Haul, which people were like, we liked that. It made sense with our customer base and our utilization. I view it as the same thing. It makes sense if you have the space, what you're using for, if you can drive a higher ROI, right? Like, okay, this could be a good option. Maybe, may not be, but at the same time, it's more within your control. You're dealing with individual owners of RVs, right? You can put it in with your operations, yet you can have the framework and everything to do it. You don't have to feel like, oh, I'm going to U-Haul, who's literally my competitor, and I'm giving them all my information. They know everything, and they could go and turn around and build a storage facility down the road.
Yeah.
Right. And then really kill my business. So then they say, well, how can I add on other lines of revenue? And so it's, very, very unique. And I like the options.
I'd like to say one thing real quick here, AJ.
Yeah, go for it.
At your SSI event back in September, your dad did the storage tour on the last day, which actually we sponsored.
Yeah,
but
I was sick. I felt so bad. I was like, I called my dad. I'm like, I need your help. Like, you got to go. I'm dying right now. So he jumped in, which was awesome.
He was awesome. So, but we got into, with the entire group, a 20-minute conversation about RVs, because the whole backside of your facility there was up with RVs. And he says, they're awesome renters. They pay more. They usually book for a whole year, even though they might be gone for months, but they know if they don't keep it, they may not have it when they get back, right? So he said, they're awesome renters. So he was just talking about all the advantages. If you have space, rent it out to RVs and boats, because they've made, some of them, major investments, and they want to make sure they're taken care of and in a good spot. So that was excellent. And then Neil, who did a presentation there at the SSI, he threw up all these different models of different storage facilities that they're building. And a couple of them had RVs in the front. And he says they put them out there so people see them. And that's how they promote their RV rentals, because they show off their model RVs right there in the front of their location. So people are doing it. The opportunities are there. It just doesn't fit in your model.
Yep. I love it. So yeah, where can people go to learn more, if you guys wouldn't mind connecting to people? Because I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, hey, I could use something like this, or I'm interested in it. Where can they go to talk to you guys?
Yeah, jump on our website, firesideRVrental.com. You can learn about the business opportunity. You can check out to rent an RV. You can throw your RV in the management program. And you can learn all about us. And then I'd love to send people as well to myrealestatestory.com. That's a free download of my book. And I love encouraging entrepreneurs. And so in that book there's a lot of my struggles, successes, failures, all the things that's, like you said before we started the show, AJ, is there anything off limits? And I believe as entrepreneurs, there shouldn't be anything off limits, because
I agree.
There's so much we can learn by sharing our struggles, sharing the stupid things we did, right? Mm-hmm. Not just our successes. So I love to send people there to get, and you can find that book on Amazon too, but you can get a free copy. It's myrealestatestory.com.